With the Colosseum behind me, I'm going to take you on an ancient walk through Rome. But I'm not alone. I actually have one of Crown Tour's best guides that is going to tell us loads of cool stories about the milestones of Roman civilization. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell button to be notified whenever we post a new video. Let's go! Let me introduce you to our guide. This is Matt. Buongiorno.
Hello.
Stai?
Great to have you here.
Tell me a bit about yourself. How long have you been a guide?
Well, I took my license in late 2017, so it's going to be my 7th year, and I was born and raised in Rome, so it's always a pleasure to show you around here. Today I would like to take you to the Colosseum, and from here to the largest gladiator school, passing through the forum, and I would end our walk by the altar of the fatherland by Venice Square.
Sounds perfect. And yeah, so we're standing in front of the Colosseum. It's impressive right away.
Yeah, that's obviously the most iconic monument in Rome. And actually the first curiosity coming to my mind is that nobody called it this way 2000 years ago. It's actually a nickname that the building received in the Middle Ages, probably in the 8th century, when historians were referring to it. And this all started because right here where we are standing, there is an inscription telling us that this is the area of the pedestal of a very tall statue which was originally representing Emperor Nero, and it was called the Colossus. The statue is no longer here, but the Flavian Amphitheater, that's its actual name, started being called after the Colossus, probably.
How long did it take to build something like the Colosseum?
That's a pretty good question. Actually, it took a very short time. The Romans were able to complete it in only 8 years, so that is nothing compared to
what they do now, that it takes way longer to complete things in Rome.
We do nothing in 8 years. As I was telling you, the original name was Flavian Amphitheater, and that's because the name of the emperor who commissioned it in the year 72 was Vespasian Flavius. He decided to build the Colosseum at some point in history for the people of Rome, becoming even more popular if possible. And this was something unseen. Nobody ever built anything this big for entertainment in those times.
And I always wonder when I come here, I see these numbers on top of the gates. What exactly do they mean?
That's actually pretty amazing that we're still able to see that. The numbers are carved in the stone, and those are Roman numerals. Every letter there has the meaning of a number. L stands for 50, I stands for 1. So that's the entrance, 52, 53, 54, and it goes on and on. But the spectators here were very well organized, you know. It's amazing because the maximum capacity of this place was a number between 50 and 60,000 seats. And everybody knew exactly which way to get in, and most importantly, which way to get out in case of an emergency, you know, such as fires or earthquakes. So people were actually better organized back then than we are today, probably. Once you enter the building, then there was a marked path which would take you to your own seat area. One of the most important things to know about this place is that almost each floor was assigned to a different social class originally.
You once told me something very interesting that I didn't know about the gladiators.
Oh yeah, I was probably mentioning the Gladiators' largest academy called Ludus. A question that I get very often is, where do they live? And the answer is in barracks, normally around the arena where they practice. And one of those places was right here, steps away from the Colosseum, and was connected to the Colosseum underground through a tunnel, which is still there. So once they got there, you know, they could hear the crowd being very loud. Then they were sent to a system of ancient lift, winches, and got to the arena floor, which is where we actually have some of our special tours. So you can be a gladiator for one day, you know, walking on that platform where so many gladiators fought in the past.
It's actually really easy to book the arena guided tour where you can have access to the arena and see everything around you like a big old time capsule. I actually leave the link in the description so it's easy for you guys to have access. And I've always wondered, why exactly do they call it arena?
Well, the reason is that arena in Latin means sand. And the wooden platform that was there was originally covered by about 20 centimeters of sand, which was there for a practical reason, to absorb the blood after fights.
There's an infinite amount of things you can say about the Colosseum, and if you guys are actually interested in a part 2, please let me know below in the comments. I think now it's time to go to the Roman Forum.
Right, But before we go, let me just show you this arch over here. This is the latest of the 3 arches preserved in this area, and it's the famous Arch of Constantine. It's from the year 315, and it celebrates the Emperor Constantine, who allowed Christianity in the year 313. He actually did that after having a vision in the night. Tradition says he saw an angel carrying a cross in the sky, telling him a few Latin words, in hoc signo vinces, you will win tomorrow in an important battle with the support of this symbol. And he added it to the symbol of his army and obtained victory. Shocked by this event, he finally decided to allow Christianity. The curiosity about this place that not many people know is that actually in the 1960s, it's been used as a finish line for the marathon during the Olympic Games of Rome. Yeah.
This is one of the best views of the Roman Forum, and you can literally see every single important building in here.
Yeah, exactly. You have to imagine that the Roman Forum was the center of the world 2000 years ago. We all have heard about the Roman Empire, right? And this was the heart of the capital city of it. So of course everything was built to impress. And from here we can actually see the Temple of Saturn, for instance, which is closer to us. That's from the 5th century before Christ. There are many remains of important courthouses. So it's not just a bunch of stones we're talking about.
Exactly.
This is actually history being made in this valley. On the opposite side, the Arch of Septimius Severus, which is 1800 years old, and many other wonders which were the administrative center of ancient Rome. And this is actually included in our tours. So when you book a Colosseum tour, apart from the Colosseum, you are going to see the Forum with all these wonders of the world of antiquity. Well, let me take you to another wonderful spot, which is exactly on the opposite side. The reason why I wanted you to come here was to show you a place where the temple of Julius Caesar was built. It's been built right on the spot where they cremated his body. It was burning for 3 days. You know, people were quite sad in Rome after one of the most beloved leaders died.
I mean, Augustus built a whole forum to
it.
avenge him, so
Exactly.
he was a very important person.
And let's say for the same reason, he also wanted to make sure that his adopted father had the temple he deserved right in the center of the Forum. So there used to be the temple of the divine Julius Caesar somewhere behind this beautiful Victory Arch.
And I see a lot of people up there. How can you actually get there?
If you happen to be on one of my tours, I will do my best to take you to the top of the Palatine Hill. That's the spot where everything started, where Rome was founded about 3,000 years ago. And there is a wonderful view from there. You can really dominate the valley of the Forum from that spot. Let's go upstairs now so I can tell you an incredible story about the statue of the horse. So that's the statue of Victor Emmanuel II. He was the first king of unified Italy to whom this entire monument was dedicated. When the statue was made, they organized a dinner of 21 people inside of its belly. And no one can ever believe this.
Yes, every time I try to tell this story to anyone, they will never believe it, because if you're standing in our spot right now, you can see the horse very small, but it's actually 16 times bigger than a regular horse, so it's definitely possible to fit 21 people inside.
Absolutely, but it happened on one of my tours that the lady asked me, was it a misunderstanding? Did you just say people ate around the table inside the horse? Yeah, absolutely. There are even pictures testifying it, so it happened for real.
It's amazing. I want to thank you so much for being with us here today and having this lovely walk. And if you guys are interested in having more in-depth tours, on our website you can choose your own tour to take. And maybe you can even choose Matt as your guide, especially after seeing today.
Would be my pleasure.
So don't forget to like this video, and we'll see you in the next one. Ciao!
Bye!